Summer is in full force, and with that comes an absolute plethora of new anime and new seasons for our viewing pleasure. So to take a break from the single show reviews and terrorizing the One Piece community one day at a time, I've decided to do what any YouTuber would do when seasonal anime drops: steal video ideas and claim them as my own. For this video, I will be giving you, the beautiful viewers at home, my summer 2023 anime impressions. Now this season is stacked with shows. We got Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 after what felt like a literal lifetime since the first season. We got Bleach continuing the 1,000-year Blood War. We got Horimiya finally animating those manga chapters they skipped in the anime. And we even got One Piece doing, whatever this is. To change things up and lighten the load on myself, I've chosen 7 different anime shows to view and give a quick summary of my thoughts on them. At the time of recording, each show has around 3 or 4 episodes, so I'll be giving my thoughts based on the first 2 or 3 episodes of each show. I'll also be giving each show a ranking ranging from S for what I deem the best of the season, to F for what I deem the absolute worst of the season. Keep in mind these are my opinions and only reflect my enjoyment of each series, although I am a man of exquisite taste and I'm just better than you.
And you know it!
So enough diddling our scrotum cheeks and let's dive into my summer 2023 anime impressions. Oh boy, what can I possibly say about Rent a Girlfriend that hasn't already been said before? Oh, that's right, it's not that bad, you haters! Everyone's favorite incel is back with his harem of anime baddies to make every sane anime watcher foam at the mouth out of pure hatred, and I'm all for it. At this point, it's clear that I am a fan of the series as a whole, and have read every chapter of the manga that has been released up to this point. Okay, maybe not like every single chapter, but like I'm pretty close. I'm like 10 chapters behind. Don't get on my case, please. So what does your friendly neighborhood rom-com degen have to say about the 3rd season? If you stuck around for the first 2 seasons, everything you love is back in full force. We got simping, love triangles, and plenty of best girl action to keep all you coomers satisfied for at least 2 hours or so. You sick freaks are never happy, are you? I won't spoil the main plot of the current arc because I argue that the current arc is the best arc in the series. Viewers will be treated to actual character development and a fair amount of moments that hold real emotional weight. The stakes are higher than they've ever been, and we finally get to see some legit progress in the relationship between Mizuhara and Kazuya. Out of sheer bias, I'll be giving Rent a Girlfriend Season 3 an A rating. Good luck in Season 4 though. You're gonna need it. Just when I thought I had a clear favorite for my anime of the year with Oshinoko, along comes this gem of a show. Zom 100 came out of nowhere for me. Although the manga had garnered a fair amount of buzz within the community, it never came across to me as something I would be even remotely interested in. I'm not huge into zombies or horror as a whole, and the only other zombie-centered anime I ever gave my full attention was High School of the Dead, and that was for, reasons? It wasn't until I hit play on episode 1 that I realized I may be the biggest idiot in the world. Zom 100's story is simple. Akira, an overworked employee of a very exploitative advertising company, is completely drained of his will to live after endless all-nighters, no breaks, and worst of all, falling in love with the boss's mistress and becoming the main character of an NTR series. One day, he gets ready to head to another life-draining shift where he's suddenly met by everyone's favorite pastime. Oh boy, it's a good old-fashioned zombie apocalypse, whoop whoop! Liberated and rejuvenated by the sheer realization he doesn't have to clock into work anymore, Akira strives to live his best life and accomplish everything he wants to do on his bucket list, writing down 100 things he wants to do before becoming a zombie. From here on out, it's just a roller coaster of fun. The visuals are absolutely dripping with style, dramatic lighting, insane cinematography, and the colors that are so vibrant that I immediately forgot I was watching a show about flesh-eating corpses. At this point, I don't even think it's a horror show anymore. I've laughed way more times than I can even count, and Akira is honestly one of the most easily relatable characters I've seen in recent memory. Well, minus the NTR stuff. This is easily my favorite show of the season and a top contender for my favorite anime this year. I'm giving Zom 100 an S rating. Ah yes, The anime equivalent of We Have Kaguya-sama at Home. If you thought Rent-a-Girlfriend was going to be the only romantic comedy I watched this season, you are sadly mistaken. 6 years after the first season aired, we finally have the continuation of Masamune's quest to make Aki Aragaki fall in love with him, and then immediately reject her for treating him like shit when they were younger. The first season introduced us to Giga Chad Masamune Makabe, transforming from a small fat tub of lard to an absolute stud in order to catch the eye of the girl who broke his heart in his childhood days. Ah, yes, the dream of every man. This season takes our characters on a vacation to France, where they're hounded by a French girl obsessed with making an authentic Japanese rom-com manga, and her older brother who probably works for the French mafia and will stop at nothing to make sure his sister gets what she wants. All this while some other fat kid pretends to be Masamune before he lost the weight in order to swoon Aki and foil Masamune's ultimate revenge plan. If all this sounds extremely ridiculous, that's because it is. Masamune's Revenge is one of those shows where you just gotta turn your brain off and enjoy the ride. A lot of these characters are quite dense and never seem to just say how they feel and instead come up with wild, elaborate schemes to get what they want, and it always ends up leading to some sort of trouble. Now, I've seen the entire first season and would have really liked to know that the second season was coming out this year so that I didn't have to read the rest of the manga just to get the ending. Either way, if you're just interested in some junk food rom-com anime like I always am, Masamune's Revenge is a fun show with a slightly better than okay romance that'll scratch that Kaguya itch for you if you're looking for something similar. It's getting a C for me. Finally, the classic shonen is getting the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood treatment. After a 90s adaptation and multiple OVAs, Rurouni Kenshin is at last getting a full-on reboot, and hopefully this time it stays true to the source material. For those who are unaware, Rurouni Kenshin is a classic shonen written by an author who won't get any attention or praise on this channel for absolutely good reason. The series itself is still regarded highly amongst anime fans and follows Kenshin Himura, a wandering samurai who wields a reverse blade sword as to not kill anyone he comes into conflict with. Kenshin was formerly known as Batosai the Manslayer, a fierce killer in the previous war, but has turned over a new leaf and started a new lifestyle for himself after realizing that killing isn't what he wants to use his sword for. His journey brings him face to face with Kaoru, a young woman who runs her late father's dojo, and upon meeting her becomes quite fond of her and proceeds to aid her in bringing more students to the school and protecting her and the dojo from any evildoers heading their way. The story being a shonen obviously becomes way more exciting than just protecting a dojo, but I'd rather not spoil the entire premise considering Rurouni Kenshin has one of the best arcs in shonen anime history, that being the Kyoto arc. As a fan of the original manga and the 90s anime, it's an absolute joy to see this show get the remake it deserves, even if the creator is a giant piece of shit. The animation isn't anything too crazy like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer, and it often looks like your typical run-of-the-mill battle anime. However, I feel that the story and cast of characters we are presented will do more than enough to get you invested. This is a classic show after all, and there's good reason for it. It's not anything too breathtaking at the moment, but I know it will pick up in later episodes or even seasons. For those reasons, I'll hold off on giving too high of a score and rank Rurouni Kenshin 2023 at a solid B. Now for those who don't know, I truly despise isekai, unless of course your name is Konosuba or Re:Zero, the only two shows in the genre I actually enjoy. I've never really been into the idea of being transported into another world or seeing JRPG elements incorporated into the shows I watch, which is quite hilarious since I literally love to play JRPGs. That being said, this season brought forth another ass ton of isekai shows and only one of them seemed to catch my attention. Reborn as a vending machine, or vending machine isekai, which is what I'm gonna keep calling it, has an extremely goofy premise not unlike that stupid show with the cell phone. Whatever the hell that thing's called, and no, I'm not going to look it up because I'm a pretentious anime fan and that filth has no business in my search history. Vending Machine kicks off throwing the viewer directly into what the show's about. Within what felt like 30 seconds, we see a guy try to save a vending machine from falling off a cliff. Yes, you heard that correctly, and well, he dies. He's then immediately reincarnated as, and you're never gonna believe this, a freaking vending machine. There's some sort of battle against some stupid enemy, Look, I'm gonna be honest, I watched a whopping 5 minutes of the first episode before I ended up dropping this. It was about a minute in, I realized why I don't watch isekai in the first place, and I was uninterested from the start. The main character already annoyed me with his constant monologuing, and I just couldn't sit through it. I stopped right when the blondie with the boobs was introduced, and I decided I don't think I'm ever gonna watch another one of these shows again. If generic low-effort isekai are your thing, then you're gonna be right at home with this one. For me, however, I couldn't get behind this at all, so I'm giving this a big fat F. I'm sorry, isekai fans. I really am. I try, but you guys can't keep getting away with this crap. If you're anything like me, then boy do you love yourself a good romance. Why do you think I named the channel Rom-Com Senpai? This show, however, takes the calm out of rom-com and presents a much more serious take on romance anime. Taking place in what I can only assume is feudal Japan or maybe even just rural Japan, My Happy Marriage is all about a young woman named Mio. Mio comes from a very cold and abusive family, acting more as a servant than a daughter. Her birth mother passed away while she was only a child, and her stepmother and sister seemingly get the better end of the stick when it comes to love and affection. Her bloodline is supposed to inherit some sort of psychic supernatural abilities that allow them to see spirits and whatnot, however Mio herself never inherits them, which is cause for her to be treated even more coldly growing up. Being treated poorly her entire life, she is shocked to find out that she is being arranged to marry a cruel and heartless military leader. The twist is that maybe he isn't the big piece of shit everybody makes him out to be, and maybe Mio will get the life she always wanted and in all honesty deserves. My Happy Marriage gripped me from the first opening minutes, setting a sad, depressive tone and showing the dark side of old school arranged marriages and abusive family dynamics. It leans more so on the somber and mysterious side than most romances I've watched lately, and I find it quite refreshing. I feel for Mio, and with each episode I wanted to see her slowly but surely come out of her shell and be treated with love and respect. I wanted to learn more about her new husband and why everyone is so fearful of him when so far he seems to be one of the kindest people in the series. My Happy Marriage is a must-watch for anyone who loves themselves a more slow, somber, and deep romance. If Violet Evergarden or 5 centimeters per second was your thing, then I highly recommend this show. My Happy Marriage gets an easy S rank from me, definitely a gripping watch thus far. Literally anything is an S compared to the vending machine show. I hate isekais, they're all terrible. Why do you guys keep watching them? A show that really came out of left field for me, The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, is a super fun and sweet comedy anime that follows my best girl of the season, Saku, and her pet cat, Yukichi, as they go on about their daily lives. The catch is that Yukichi is not your average feline, for he's about 6 feet tall and is better at housekeeping and maintenance than Saku, and more embarrassingly, me. Saku works your typical Japanese office job, while Yukichi takes care of cleaning the house, cooking the food, doing the laundry, and pretty much all the adulting that Saku should be doing. The poor girl is not only god-awful at being a normal adult, but also has to hide the fact that her pet cat isn't even a pet and acts more as her guardian or butler. Usually comedy anime doesn't make me laugh out loud, but Masterful Cat definitely got a few audible chuckles out of me. It's a nice, feel-good show with a concept I find extremely odd, yet works perfectly within the series. It can be over the top, charming, and downright cute without any of the moe blah bullshit you usually get from lighthearted shows. Just a girl, some beer, and her cat that should definitely play in the NBA but is wasting his gifts as a glorified cat maid. I honestly thought from the title that this was going to be one of those really sad, somber, depressing shows, but for some reason this is some of the most fun I've had all year watching animes, so shout out to that and being the weirdest show I've ever seen. If you're looking for an anime to wind down to and just get a good laugh from, Masterful Cat is the show for you, and it's arguably one of my favorite shows of the year. Masterful Cat is most definitely getting a nice high A from me. Summer 2023 has definitely reinvigorated my love for anime and has more than its fair share of bangers that kept me entertained for hours on end. If there are any anime you want to see a full video of or just want to recommend to me, remember to like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to see more content. As always, I'm your friendly neighborhood rom-com senpai, aka Father's Attic. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.